other fishermen. I'd like you to meet a local fisherman who fishes for a delicacy called moeke, a soft-shell crab. Manuel is part of an ancient tradition of net and pole fishing on the Venetian lagoon. Started over 1,500 years ago, these fishermen are called the Moacanti. In the early hours, we join them on their small fishing boat and head out into the lagoon. This is a small-time cottage industry carried out by artisans.
Tu fai solo pescatore o tu hai un altro lavoro?
No, pescatore sport.
It's the first of the buyers, checking and bidding on his day's catch.
Unbelievably comfortable.
Yes. I thought the season was finished. It must be close.
Still going to the
Go?
amazing.
You like this work, Christian?
Yes,
Yes. And you like working with your father?
yes,
Yes. You come every day.
every day.
Giorni.
The Moacante's detailed knowledge of the crab's life cycle is extremely important in the process of selection. Christian is sorting the crabs by their sex and by the stage they've reached in the shedding of their shell. The Moacante keep those that are ready to shed in containers called vieri, waiting to capitalize on the moment when the young crabs lose their shell and just before they grow a new one. This is when it becomes a moeca, and it's immediately taken to market and sold, alive. This requires knowledge and experience which take many years to acquire and are typically passed from father to son. Today, there are only a couple of hundred Moacantes still working on the lagoon. Manuel and Christian have invited us to join them and the other fishermen to try some of the catch of the day, barbecued in their hut. It looks like we're in for a cooking frenzy, and it seems that half the fishing fleet are here to join in. Their makeshift kitchen is producing results that could rival any gourmet restaurant. As you can see, sardines cooked on a hot plate continue to be a staple of local cuisine. The best way to eat these humble fish is hot, straight off the grill. I notice them cooking capasante, the local scallops. He places them on the piping hot barbecue with a drizzle of olive oil, parmesan, parsley, a sprinkling of garlic, and a splash of grappa to flambe them. But as if this isn't enough, he adds a good slug of Prosecco in the tray below to steam them. It's time to relax for a sundowner with Manuel and Christian and thank them for their generous insight into Chioggiotto life.
Le saline. Beh, ma qua lo fanno tutto così. Tutti lo fanno così qua. Cioè col ghiaccio.
Sì, ma per me il ghiaccio non mi piace.
This is our friend, Amadeo Signoretto. As you can see, the seafood of this town is even reflected in the art.
Buongiorno. Bellissimo. È fresco il pesce.
Sì. Hai preso questa mattina.
L'ho preso stamattina.
Cerco di farlo velocemente per poterlo anche mangiare.
After finishing the painting, he invites us upstairs for lunch to cook the sardines he's just immortalized on canvas. Chioggia's about 1 hour's drive overland from Venice, or an hour and 15 minutes by water on the Vaporetto. Like Venice, Chioggia is an island in the lagoon, built around canals and boats. This canal is called Vena, which means vein. It originally carried the town's lifeblood in the form of fresh water from the Brenta River. Chioggia has often been described as the poor man's Venice. But it's more an image of what Venice might have been if it had remained a fishing settlement and had never discovered the riches of trade. Of course, its seafood cuisine is legendary.
To close a perfect day, we're taken sailing on Chioggia's harbour, on a traditional boat called a bragozzo. Designed both for fishing and for cargo carrying, these vessels, with their wide hull and flat bottom, are perfectly suited to the shallow waters of the lagoon. Nowadays, they're maintained by enthusiasts for pleasure and are almost symbolic of Chioggia, which has by far the largest concentration of these craft.
Chioggia seems to have escaped the frenzy of mass tourism, and yet this little fishing town is a national gateway for the seafood and produce from the whole of the Veneto region. Today I'm off to the Pescheria, the local fish market that caters to the general public. You can hear the unique, friendly Chioggiotto dialect amplified through the entrance. These lively fishmongers are seafood professionals. They know the intricacies of each species and enthusiastically share the best cooking techniques. Just across the canal, the street markets are also alive, and I need to pick up some produce for lunch. All the produce proudly on display comes from the surrounding Veneto region. The locals truly celebrate their radicchio. This is Radicchio di Chioggia, known for its pleasantly bitter and crispy leaves. Chioggian beetroot are native to Chioggia and quite distinctive inside. I'll show you how pretty and unique they are later in the galley. The local baker and his daughter make a bread called Pan del Batello. It's designed to last for days at sea, which is perfect for us. This pretty fruit and vegetable stand is on the Fondamenta della Vena, and it's run by a mother and her son.
Sempre sta a Chioggia.
Piace?
Per forza mi piace, perché sono nata qua.
I chat to Ennio about how long he's been doing this.
Da quando ero piccolo.
La mamma di 70, dice.
Mamma, senti che pallitino e vedi che ti resumito.
For the past 70 years, this lovely woman, Giovanna, has been sitting here peeling artichokes and producing hundreds of hearts each day.
Bolliti, 10 minuti del bollo, che prende il bollo. Gli mette un po' di sale, agli cavi che mette il formaggio sopra, un po' d'olio e poi rimangi. Puoi fare il risotto, puoi fare anche la pasta, puoi fare il pasticcio, tutto quello che vuoi.
I ask Ennio, how would you describe Chioggia?
Lo dice lei o lo dico io?
Dighetti.
Perché lei si confonde.
La nostra città
Sì. Ah, sì.
è bello che
La nostra città è bellissima.
Quando vuole che parli,
Parla.
Allora, vai,
Sì.
la nostra città è bella.
Sì.
È una città vivibile, a portata d'uomo. Si può passeggiare tutto il giorno, i bambini possono andare liberi per la piazza, ci sono i canali, i ponti, è una piccola Venezia. Potete incontrare per strada le stesse persone che incontrate tutti i giorni, così avete un rapporto giornaliero con tutti. È come essere una grande famiglia.
So, Ennio, how do you get along with your mother, even after working with her for 50 years?
Di mia madre, tutto. È la mamma.
Mamma ce n'è una sola, non due, mamma ce n'è sempre.
La mamma è una.
Mamma sempre a mamma, la prima parola è mamma e l'ultima a finire è mamma.
Today, Verinia is finally ready to relaunch. We've just pulled away from the launch carriage and we're lining up to clear the bridge and motor to the main harbour where we'll moor for the night before we sail out to Venice. It's our final morning in Chioggia and Narelle's been to the market and collected some fresh produce. She also bought some freshly caught sea bass, a beautiful fleshy white fish. This is a special occasion as it's the first time you'll witness Narelle at work in the yacht's galley. It never ceases to amaze me what she can achieve in that tiny space, especially when we're underway and there's a sea running. Shadow, as always, keeps a very watchful eye on the proceedings.
This is a great tradition along the lagoon here, both in Chioggia and Venice, and I think it's really delicious, simple and healthy. So here we go. A little pepper and some lemon. I've got to tell you, going out with the local fishermen was really memorable, and eating all the local produce and seeing how they cooked it was absolutely a thrill for me. Throw some rosemary in here for a little flavour. An Italian girlfriend told me that when you finish this in salt, it's quite nice to flambe the rosemary on top. We'll see how it goes. Right, next to the salt. A lot of salt. I would say a box for each fish, so let's make it 2. Now, I'm going to put in a lot of mixed herbs. A combination of dried and fresh. And I'm going to put some lemon rind. Okay, and maybe a bit more fresh rosemary. This will look nice amongst the salt as well. And this margarine's quite good, oregano. And add enough water to make a little paste. Just enough to dampen it. Hold it all together. Okay, even that out. Place the fish on top. There we go. And then the rest on top. You'd think this fish tastes really salty, but it really doesn't. And it doesn't matter if you don't scale them. So there it is. And into a preheated oven, about 200 degrees. I reckon they'll be about 30 to 40 minutes. We have these wonderful Chioggian beetroot. This is what the woman in the market told me to chop off to here. All of this is edible, and of course all of this. So to boil them first with the skins on, and then peel them back and chop up the remainder of the stalk. Some asparagus for the salad, just chop those tips. And I was told in the market the best way to cook them is to boil them and serve them with potatoes. Now, a salad, local lettuce, Chioggian radicchio. I've got some purple basil and some green. Artichoke hearts from my favourite woman in Chioggia, who spends every morning peeling these wonderful artichoke hearts, so you don't have to do it yourself, you can buy them just like this. And then our asparagus should be ready. I'll just drain that. See how beautiful they are inside. Don't you think it's a shame not to use them raw? And a little oil and vinegar at the last moment. Potatoes are now cooked, so I'll drain those. Just a few more
beetroot with the potatoes, which we cooked earlier. A little olive oil now, pepper, and a little parsley. And a lovely local dish to go with the fish. The fish should be ready, hot, and it is. And there we have it. My salute to Chioggia. We've had some wonderful memories, and food being one of the main ones. Sea bass cooked in salt, potatoes with local Chioggian beetroot, and a salad with all the produce I could find in the market this morning. So, buon appetito. It's going up.